strong. Yeah, as he decays away and swings.
Everything again.
Pincer maneuver on both.
Use it.
Hot now out. Double swing inside. A triple kill. Not enough.
In the final week of the VCT America's regular season, NRG shattered the hearts of fans by throwing a 5-12 lead to Cloud9 on a map that decided who moves on to playoffs and who ends their season early. Then, only a few days later, NRG announced that they've dropped their mastermind coach Chet and veteran duelist Victor, two proven champions. But did NRG really choke that bad that they had to drop two big pieces to the roster and potentially more to come? Well, join me as I dive deep into this disaster class of a game and find out exactly where everything went wrong. Now, I totally get NRG's frustrations. Choking this bad is pretty embarrassing, especially in front of the world. But I mean, it can't be as bad as blowing a chance at free skins, which you can get with buff.game. Buff is an authorized overworld map with over 15 million users that allows you to play your favorite games and earn buff points to purchase Riot access codes, Steam credit, V-Bucks, and a ton more, literally just by playing your favorite games and having the app run in the background. They earn me free points when I'm recording footage for these videos, and it's really easy to redeem. It just takes a few clicks. Buff is super safe to use with no resource hogging, no mining, and honestly, I trust them way more than my stupid ranked duelist entry. What's that, guys? You want more free stuff? Alright, fine. If you comment hashtag downloaded buff with your buff username, you'll get a chance at winning a $10 Riot access code. It doesn't get any more free than that. So what are you waiting for? Start pimping out your skin collection like mine with buff. And if you use my link down in the description, you'll gain a bonus 70 buff points, 100 total. If you ever wanted to support this channel, but are broke, now's your chance. Check out buff using my link. It's risk-free, costs you nothing, and only helps me. Do it now or I'm stealing your cat! In the first half, both teams went blow for blow, with NRG coming out on top with 7 rounds, which makes sense for an attack-sided map like Sunset. But it was in the second half where we got to witness the sheer brute force of this Neon Breach comp. The name of the game on Sunset is retakes. The offense simply have too many options in terms of defaulting. On A, they can create question marks here and here. On top mid, you can pressure either lane. And by poking in a market, you threaten even more avenues. To compensate, defenses will often fight or stack heavily in one area and just retake the others, which is what NRG's lineup excels at. And that leads me to Cloud9's comp, which is pretty strong. It kind of counters this single info initiator meta that we're in right now. With this many smokes on defense, you can spook the offense, making them think that you're pushed up in certain areas, when in reality, you aren't. So they waste utility, making their hits weaker, and your anchor setup stronger. Then on attack, they can apply the same type of pressure all across the map and use their smokes to feed their team information if NRG try to disrespect them. Teets, shut up. How do you know why Cloud9's playing this comp? I went into Vanity's stream and I asked him myself.
What's up, Teets?
There's a lot here, for
like
sure.
your YouTube videos.
There's at least 3.
Really impressive to play against on both sides. Kind of starves teams for info. And in the current meta in Valorant, teams only play one info initiator, so it kind of makes it very hard for teams to play.
But if you've watched my Neon Haven video, you'll remember that NRG's comp can just plow through these duty bubbles and just take what they want, especially on retakes. So as long as NRG don't play scared, watch out for lurks, and most importantly, coordinate the retakes, NRG should move on to playoffs. That's how the first part of this second half went. On Pistol, FNS got his on the weaker part of the map, while his teammates were stacked up elsewhere, and the retake closed out the round. Then, they converted the anti-eco, where they fought for A, left Crashies as the retake side, and quickly stacked with Sam up in Market. But on their bonus, NRG had a flawless retake.
In here for the retake.
Paranoia's gonna hit 2 really bold. It's actually gonna concuss Rooney and not give himself a chance here to get first. What a slide! Double headshot slide! And that allows here the rest of NRG to move forward. Oxy now left alone. There's that first, catching Ethan on a reload. But Ethan stays alive and wins it with the stinger.
Dude. Ethan.
Cloud9 were forced to save again, where NRG stacked holy yappuccino! We get it, Teets. Crashies was playing on the weak side. They stacked B. How many times are you going to say it? Jimmy, I know. But do you see how dominant NRG are playing right now? Let's see if they can close out the game with this same energy. The defense are 1 round off match point and are set up in a 1-1-3. They're going to constantly battle past this ruse while Cypher and Omen stall and gather information. Now Cloud9 are going to try and abuse the rechargeable smokes to apply pressure throughout the map, use them for info, and hit the site where NRG are weaker. The barriers drop, and we see an immediate 4 bubbles form around the map. 2 for mid control, 1 to try and scare the defense on A, threatening that Cloud9 could walk up, but NRG dispels this front by prowling through and placing their own one-way. Neon and then Fade hop into the ruse with Breach close behind, ready to fault line whoever his teammates come into contact with. The smoke fades, no one's there, but NRG want Clove to know that A main is theirs. Crashies rips another Prowler, and Ethan rocks its target. Rooney is forced to retreat, but he's telling his team what's just occurred. Guys, there's like 3 here! Alright, well, there's probably not a lot in market.
Fight, gain that space. Force them into where the stack could be, where the delay could be, and it's the paranoia out towards the market from Som. It's gonna push a couple of these players away.
Som has barely made it out alive, and NRG have elected to play full retake on B and market. Now before heading that way, Rooney and Zeppa stick around near A just to make sure Fade isn't just holding this on her own, and they want to drag rotates back over. They hear Crashy's haunt, Zeppa lets his tiger loose, and it spots Fade, and I think Neon? Because as soon as he's done, Zeppa darts back through mid and meets up with his team, who are in prime position to split B.
Shoveling C9 over towards his B site, and they're going to be ready for the retake after this post plant.
So the paint shells to break the trips towards the front.
Mission accomplished. Cloud9 have snuffed out the site that NRG are playing retake on. But did they need to use their paranoia? Why not bird first, and if it goes caw, then use your near sight? Without this ability, how are Cloud9 supposed to fight back against NRG's retake? Regardless, both content creators are set into protect mode. Their job is to contain the offense into this big square and buy time for their team to come over and retake. Now, these 3 either must have heard Cloud9 leave, or just have an insane read, because they all decide to push through A main since this spy cam was never broken. With this info, the attackers can only be in 3 spots: B main, market, or site. And they want to check, starting with the first.
Except for the flank of Victor. And now you're gonna start swarming in. There's a haunt on the side, headshot onto Zeppa. And he's playing Apex right now. Only Vanity is left. And that's only 1 kill to his name.
Cloud9 just didn't have enough to fend off this ravenous retake. I mean, what could they have used? Their satchels? Don't get me wrong, the offense had the perfect read. They know NRG are fighting one side and retaking the other, and they found the retake site, but they unnecessarily burned their paranoia to take it. Cloud9 did this on pistol and their first full buy. So if NRG just stick to their game plan, they should be able to put Cloud9 to bed. After just showing Cloud9 that they're going to fight for A, NRG are going to use that conditioning to their advantage. Neon has swapped from A to B in hopes that these two can cause enough commotion to bait the offense into walking into Victor's crosshair. And this should work. Cloud9 are set up in a 3-1-1, ready to default B. The round opens up with a ruse and guiding light from the attackers, but NRG respond with a Prowler and late fault line. To Clove, who just last round saw 3 people fighting A, this looks like the same setup. They're heavy fighting A again! Alright, well, let's break some trips or something.
Knowledge is too much. We'll see a B main control though for a C9.
Saving grace potentially here, at least a trade. But they have
1 duelist for 1 controller. NRG fleeced Cloud9. Without their paranoia, how are the offense going to stop NRG's powerful retakes? They have a tripwire, I guess. Maybe Clove's metal? Oxy has his rocket launcher, but I'd imagine he uses that to take site, and that'll expire before the retake even starts. Alright, so NRG, which site do you want to retake? NRG, which site do you want to retake? Wait, why are we setting up in a one and done against a Trailblazer and Seekers? And why are we grouping up against a Showstopper? Oh god, Cloud9 are headed right for them.
Play towards A main.
Showstopper out, he goes long range.
What? Wait, what?
Nate dodged it, but at least we're throwing C's nades, trying to keep Ethan cornered. Jumps out, finally gets picked off. Meanwhile, the Crashies has made it inside the site. There's that push forward, a 3-player swing, this time towards the generator. Back and forth we go, but it's not the finesse alone. A chance here for
console players. You guys are new and probably coming from games like Call of Duty, Overwatch, or Rainbow Six. Tell me, a rocket launcher explodes near a group of people. What happens? They die. Before these two got run over by Cloud9, just look at how much utility they had to retake with. They both had close to full kits, and Cloud9 had nothing. Stack one site, retake the other. and it gets worse. FNS is all that's left to try and clutch up, but Cloud9 don't know where he's at. This forces Rooney to plant safe, but Moose has his neural theft. This round is big, so he heads into elbow to activate it, revealing FNS's position. Here's the sitch. FNS knows Cypher's elbow because he just heard the ult go off, but he has no idea where Clove went. By dueling them first, FNS can probably bait out the Cypher and break up their crossfire. Even if he doesn't win, he might burn Clove's ult.
Back of this A site. You're just gonna wait it out. First contact will be Rooney no matter what. Finesse walks forward and Rooney...
Never mind, he just exposes himself to the whole site and dies. Whatever, last round was bad, but NRG have a lot more to spare. Now, I think they're positioned in an anti-rush setup because Fade's by herself, Breach is starting in spawn, Omen spotting mid, and Cypher has a trapwire ready to help Neon, who's been given an op. She's going to take a shot, get out, swap guns, and get ready to retake. But Cloud9 aren't headed this way. Their plan is to apply pressure on B main, mid, but finally use their smoke they've been conditioning all game. Every round they've used it, it's just been Clove, but this time, it's everyone. Cloud9 open up with a blitz of decoy utility. Zephyr flashes B, Vanity smokes top mid, Moose scouts out mid, and Clove ruses A. Crashies responds by burning a Prowler through the smoke. But look, Rooney's the only one to shoot it. The offense really want to sell that Clove is the only one here. They creep up A main. Rooney leading the pack with his self-res online. If he goes down early, he can pop it and make an insane amount of space for his team. Him and Crashies pass like two ships in the night. Crashy seizes to delay a potential rush and retreats deeper into elbow. At this point, he's only seen and heard one person on this 1/3 of the map. In his mind, Clove is probably just playing more aggressive than normal.
Crashies gives himself a little breathing room here. NRG with a peek on B main. Aren't going to be in the right spot.
But Victor was spotting B. Sam had mid. Crashies cannot be jiggling this lazy, especially when he has his haunt online. Why not use it? And look, Cloud9 burned their paranoia again despite taking down the side anchor. Had NRG played Breach, where are you going?
NRG is just going to consider this a very slow round on the rotation.
Alright, does anyone else want to take a 1v1? Had NRG played retake, they probably steamroll Cloud9. Just look at the utility they left on the table. Or alternatively, you're up 6 rounds. Why not take some risks? Earlier, Victor was posted up on B, so why not have Omen just leave market? Odds are that an attacker doesn't just walk all the way through without making noise. And even if they do, you have rounds to play with. Then your setup would look like this, and you'd win if Cloud9 went A. But instead, we all decided to just take our ones. Well, now what does NRG do? Well, FNS tries to get one, and he falls, and the rest of his team decides to save. NRG take a timeout to prevent things from getting out of hand. Alrighty guys, listen up. Oh, wait, who's sleeping?
Is it time for chocolate chip ice cream?
We're so fucked. Coming out of the timeout, NRG are bringing back an old game plan. In their 3-2, Fade, Breach, and Omen are going to fight for B main in hopes that Cloud9 respond and walk up A right into Victor's op, which they don't know exists yet. And this should work. Back on round 18, this game plan got them the first blood. With the offense grouped up towards this way, we should see the same result. The barriers drop, and Zeppo launches a bird into B. Vanity smokes off top mid, but NRG immediately reclaim main with a dark cover and Prowler of their own. This information makes it obvious to NRG that the attackers are headed this way. Can Cypher and Neon hold out?
For playoff contention, C9 is trying to bring this into an overtime and hopefully win this to clinch a playoff spot. Victor under heavy attack. There's a lot of utility being thrown. Metal on the top of that to debunk him. As he decays away and swings back in. But it's 2 first blood scored by C9.
This is big. This is the momentum.
Guys, just get off site. What are we doing?
I'm gonna we be Medicare.
Sleepy Joe and Neon got burned by being greedy and trying to get theirs. But look, Cloud9 burned their paranoia. I see what NRG are trying to do. Cypher's job is to stall this side of A main with a tripping cage so they can both isolate this side. But why? You guys still have so much utility. Just take your shot and get out. But wait, it gets worse. NRG are forced to save, but Cloud9 want to hammer down their economy further and decide to go hunting. I mean, surely one of them survives, right?
A few more alt orbs on a priority like Zeppa for sure, or Oxy.
And also trying to hurt the economy on the side of NRG, a chance to come back on top of that. Yeah, Crush is able to get 2. And Ethan and Som still contested. One-way smoke on the top of news. Vanity trying to lurk around and try to find him. Looking back towards that B side.
Okay, NRG, we're running out of lives here. Now would be a good time to stop trolling. This round, they're running a pretty straightforward game plan. These three are fighting for A main again, while these two play for information and stall. It's worked before, so why not do it again, right? But Cloud9 have picked up on some of NRG's tendencies. When A main is being heavily contested by like 3 people, that means that top mid is probably weak. So in this 4-1 default, Clove's job is to keep the defense preoccupied, while the rest of their team wraps top mid, backsteps the defense, and split the site. Cloud9 open the round with a bird and roost for A, double smokes and spy cam for mid, but NRG don't respond with anything. They want Cloud9 to waddle right through this smoke, right into a high-low setup, followed up by a fault line. But no one's coming. The attackers are moving up mid and are pinging FNS's cam. After backing up from B main, the offense heard him activated. Cloud9 now know that this is the only thing holding this area. They move up, try to wallbang it, and it's broken. Now here's where things get interesting. Because his cam just got broken, nothing is watching top mid. There's a world where someone is literally walking up into spawn, but no one on NRG seems to care. FNS backs up to Boba, but nobody is worried about this stairs wrap, meaning that Cloud9's read was correct, but they want to make sure NRG are focused on A main before they go for this bold pinch. The Skies drop back to Trailblazer through A, hoping that this cute dog will be enough to keep the defense occupied while Oxy pushes behind them. NRG throw out a Prowler, Zephyr dogs back in response, Crashy throws out a Haunt but gets shot, and Ethan fault lines for Victor to slide out and kill anyone out of position. But look! Cloud9 have taken top mid behind both smokes and are contacting through without a worry in the world.
Pincer maneuver on both sides, and that's Oxy opening it up. Let's go!
How was nobody worried about this happening? Maybe Ethan was, but Victor had his knife out. Was nobody talking about these smokes or the cam breaking? I mean, Vanity did mention how this comp has excellent information denial.
And in the current meta in Valorant, teams only play one info initiator, so it kind of makes it very hard for teams to play.
But come on, when you're a pro and see this, what's going through your mind? Had they known, the correct play would have been to push out one area, either continue brawling deeper into main, or re-clear top mid. But NRG were oblivious to this pinch being possible, and got caught in no man's land. Oh, and guess what Vanity used at the end? Yep. NRG just got embarrassed in mid, and they don't want that happening again. Their spread 1-1-1-1-1 setup is quickly going to come together and mid-round collapse on this area once Fade gets set up on this line. But Cloud9 aren't headed that way. They're taking this round slow and have bought an op. Victor has his overdrive online, so maybe the offense are expecting something aggressive? Regardless, once they felt like they've pushed the defense back, they're going B. This round starts quieter than most. Both teams trade smokes, FNS slaps his cam into B, Crashies throws out a Prowler, and just like that, he's set up on A. And now with both extremities set up to gather info, the defense get into position to flush out mid. Breach leaves A, Cypher leaves B, and all they need now is some form of green light to send it. There it is. But these smokes right here demonstrate the power of Cloud9's comp. NRG don't have a lot of information. In their mind, there could be people in this area, but there isn't. The defense smoke tiles, haunt high, paranoia and flashpoint, but all this utility just gave Cloud9 the sound cue that B is free.
Release from the B main, so that's going to force the pivot now. C9 to tempo up towards this B side. Showstopper pushing some away down to 41-8.
Hey, editor, did you see what Cloud9 used? Yeah, mark that down. For the first time in a long time, NRG have Cloud9 right where they want them. They did use a lot of their utility in mid, but with Fade's Nightfall and Cloud9 without their paranoia, this retake should be pretty clean. But wait, what are you guys doing?
And there's the overdrive towards the back of the site. But it's a twofer for Cloud9, the advantage coming through. And no opportunities for NRG to flip back inside the site. Ethan now getting caught towards the back by the dog. And he's now...
Well, NRG wanted to flood and catch Cloud9 while they were planting, but what were we flooding out with? A breach flash and a slide? Neon just got traded and Moose realized what NRG were trying to do, so he just sprayed through the smoke and got some. Then FNS thought he had a timing. or something. But Crashies decides now is the best time to rip his Nightfall? When Ethan is so close to his Rolling Thunder? Retaking with both of these the next round would be huge! When teams are up this big, it's a really good idea to try and stack up as many ults as you can to convert that final round that you need. But at least the Nightfalls hit 3 players, making them easy targets. Ethan, are you gonna swing that guy? Crashies is holding your right, and you have your fault line. You could isolate them. Why not rip it and swing? Dude!
Crashies once again is trying to get another momentum clutch for NRG to close out the series if it can. Camera pins him. He doesn't care to remove the dart.
Nah, use it.
Hot now out to swing out from Cloud9.
Wow, we've gone from having an insane amount of credits on top of a huge lead to this. I even bought your bundle, guys. On their eco, Victor got proactive in mid, left after he got smoked and flashed out, and then NRG tried to have the stack on the right site. Crashy's first Prowler got shot, so Neon and Breach went that way, but then the second one went uncontested, so they all slowly made their way back to B. But wait, are we really doing this again?
Vanity does have it, but they exactly what you're calling.
Yeah.
Just trying to walk across, and NRG staying timid on the control. And there's that timing.
What movement?
Ethan still in the back of the spawn. There's 30 seconds left. Soon they'll realize now that the A side is open, and Moose is going to be the one lurking and trying to cut the rotates. Able to drop the first one now, and as his cage comes down, he'll be met up by both Finesse and Song. I know clean.
I mean, I guess it's an eco, and they were gambling that Cloud9 wouldn't walk through top mid, but man, that's gotta be frustrating. This round, they aren't letting that happen again by sliding in a trapwire for top mid, market, and cam for B, while these 3 try and get Fade posted on the line again. But Cloud9 are still waiting for someone on NRG to get antsy, or maybe frustrated and peek too far. Vanity's opping B, Rooney's holding A, and this cam's holding mid. Crashy's prowlers through the ruse again, but Cloud9 just wait. Some one-ways A main, and in response, Vanity smokes top mid. This again drags over the attention of everyone on NRG. They don't want to get burned by this mid-take, but they don't want to dump all their utility like last time. So Crashies lobs them a haunt, and it doesn't get broken. But here's the thing. That spooky balloon was the last of Crashies' information, and Rooney's just re-smoked A. Anyone or anything could be behind this smoke, and NRG are forced to gamble stack A, and leave B open. Cloud9's comp is working to perfection. This denial of info has allowed the offense to move through B main behind Vanity's op and eventually onto site. But Sam's already here. The last bit of reconnaissance NRG had was omens from the shadows, and he's used it to re-clear A. Mid's been too quiet, and now the 2 content creators are here early, ready to anchor down back site.
Staircase, it's planted safe. Maybe now for C9 they have to fight inside the site. First blood then comes in for Finesse, who throws out that hat. Seeker's then coming out as well for C9 as they're battling towards the back of the B site. That's a 1-for-1. Big flash coming through, and Finesse somehow gets the kill while full blinded. There's a hat thrown once again. We have a Rolling Thunder out of defensive.
Cloud9 managed to get the plant down, and I think Vanity's plan was to re-rat market since Spike was planted for him. I mean, this spy cam would have given him the green light to go, but NRG flooded in quick since they never got pushed off back site and had to cancel those plans. Now it's a 4 versus 3, and the spike isn't planted in the optimal spam spot. NRG have a ton more room to defuse from, but Cloud9 have no other choice but to pray to RNGesus and hope their shots land.
Sorry. Disadvantage in terms of C9, in terms of the numbers left alive. But all these folks coming through again, it's not really planted for them. Finesse gets another pick. Only 2 left alive here at Cloud9, and they're just spraying across the smoke. Finally, Victor commits onto the defuse. The double swing inside, a triple kill, and Vanity!
How is nobody pushing through the smoke with all this utility? Aftershock, seize, flash, second flash. You hear Cloud9 reloading. How did things go this south so fast? It was a 4 versus 2. If you're going to retake, you need to retake. Overtime. Wow. Okay, well the sides are switched, and Cloud9's setup is pretty interesting. Omen and Cypher are contesting B main, while their cam is set up to hold all of mid. It's a one-way cam that isn't visible until they get to this point, and they have their own 3 fighting for A. But these 2 need to watch their step, because NRG have 4 players ready to explode.
And
how close were they on the defuse, but Let's hold that thought. Vanity first headshot to Victor.
Still.
How many stuns were we going to shove into this choke? I mean, I get it. Oftentimes on defense, the B player will peek out to pre-fire sight to spy cam, and NRG wanted to punish for it. Paranoia for the backline, stun for close, and a prowler. I mean, the cam literally saw Omen in the open, dodging all of this. But Cloud9 had a solid hold with their smoke and late trip from Moose. Vanity's gotten out with his life. But now, what do you do if you're NRG? You've just burnt so many of your abilities, Oxy has the entire world to himself on A, and you've just blown a 7-round lead. Well, without a Spacemaker, they won't be able to get out of this choke. Their plan B is to split through mid. But Cloud9 haven't really been watching in this round. The camera could have gotten timinged, so Zepa lets his Trailblazer loose through mid. It doesn't tag anyone, but NRG are going through mid. And Vanity still has the read. Oxy has the A line, and I guess he's not worried about B. He recognizes that NRG can't get through the B choke and need to come through mid.
That's not both prowlers?
1 minute, nice. 5v2, 5v2, play advantages.
I'll be fit.
4 versus 3, and Ethan gets brain blasted through the smoke. But before they can plant, NRG need to find the equalizer.
Of Moose here on the top of the staircase.
30 seconds left.
On that flank. Spike's gonna go down, but I don't know if Ethan's gonna be ready for this.
And it's such a crazy plan, it's not for anything. And Storm's alone in the back line. Traded out by Rooney. C9 with the defuse. And they are the ones at series point.
NRG have one more chance to avoid landing a spot in the Hall of Lame. Their plan, I think, is to have Neon show herself on B and sprint back to A. By doing this, hopefully NRG can convince that A is the weaker site, when in reality, it's B. Now, Cloud9 have abused mid a lot this game, and they're going to do it again. The round starts with Moose peering into B main, Zepa flashing elbow, and Cloud9 smoke top mid and one-way top box. But Victor jiggles, wait, did I see a cam? Breaks the camera and crashes prowlers through A. NRG have someone on the line, and Victor is sprinting through spawn heading to stack A. But he realizes that if Cloud9 are in mid, they can hear him running, so he stops and turns around.
Rare move here, as we talked about the amount of times they've been working towards the extremities. Victor holding towards the spawn, but it's...
Cloud9 have split the map in half, and NRG now have a big decision to make. Do the two streamers get off site or push through B? Crashy's made the decision to push through A, and Ethan is picking up stairs. But, what about you guys? What are we thinking? Oh, God.
As the others are rotating, trying to find flanks, everybody is isolated. There's that first lineup, but it's a 1-for-1.
Why are these two playing on site? Why? Look at how much utility they have! Just leave! Go through Boba and re-clear spawn, then play retake. FNS is playing in a one and done, and Sam tried to trade him out, but these two just got pinched from 3 different angles. Just choose one and push out that way. Now Crashies is pushing through flank, snaps the trip, haunts out B main, and Ethan breaks down the door. But with Cloud9 in so many potential positions, how are they supposed to win this?
Such a hard time trying to clear all these angles. A first shot from Oxy. And Rooney is low here. If Ethan and Crashies hit these shots, they're right at the spike.
And Crashies hit the trip. They know he's coming B main. He's all alone once again in another clutch attempt. Trip now broken. Camera is up. The first wall bang onto Rooney. Tap onto the spike. Last 2 players of Cloud9 back towards the market. Goes for that second tap. As the satchel comes up. The death split coming through. Not enough time. Moves comes out for the kill. Cloud9. Welcome to the playoffs!
Yeah, I'd be pretty pissed too. NRG needed to take more risks, play to their comp strengths, realize when top mid was open, and punish Cloud9 for constantly pissing away their paranoia. Oh man, this loss was almost as embarrassing as when EG lost against that 4 duelist comp.